Before the chaos erupted in a Karachi courthouse, a place meant to symbolize justice and order, few outside the world of Pakistani social media had heard the name Rajab Butt. But for those who followed the digital landscape, Rajab Butt was already a familiar face, a figure whose online presence was both influential and controversial. Rajab Butt was known as a YouTuber, a digital creator who didn't shy away from difficult topics. He roamed the bustling streets of Pakistan's cities, camera in hand, speaking directly to his audience about the issues that mattered most to ordinary people. Through his vlogs and sharp commentary, Butt built a loyal following. He tackled social issues head-on, often focusing on the legal system, its flaws, its corruption, and the challenges faced by those seeking justice. His videos resonated with many who felt unheard, but they also drew the ire of those in power. His outspoken content, however, came at a cost. In a country where religious sentiments run deep, Butt's criticism and candid discussions led to accusations that he had offended religious beliefs, a charge that carries serious consequences in Pakistan, both legally and socially. On the day of the incident, Rajab Butt arrived at the Karachi City Court, not as a free man, but as someone seeking protection from the very system he often criticized. He was there to apply for pre-arrest bail, accompanied by his lawyer, Mian Ali Ashfaq, a respected figure in the legal community. The courthouse, designed to be a sanctuary of law and order, quickly transformed into a powder keg. The air was thick with tension as crowds gathered in the hallways, their faces a mix of curiosity, anger, and anticipation. The tension wasn't just about the religious case. Days earlier, Butt had released a vlog sharply criticizing lawyers, accusing some of corruption and malpractice. This video had gone viral, sparking outrage within the legal community and turning many lawyers against him. Even though Butt later issued a public apology, the damage was done. Resentment simmered beneath the surface, and many in the courthouse saw him not just as a defendant, but as an adversary who had insulted their profession. When Rajab Butt entered the Karachi City Court that day, he was more than just a man facing charges. He was a lightning rod for controversy, a symbol of defiance who had angered a powerful and organized group. The charges of offending religious sentiments had brought him to court, but his reputation as a vocal YouTuber and his recent criticism of lawyers made him a target for more than just legal prosecution. The media swarmed, sensing a story that was about to explode. As Butt tried to navigate the crowded corridors, he found himself trapped between the formal legal process and a more dangerous informal retribution. The line between justice and mob rule began to blur. What followed was chaos, shouting, pushing, and violence erupted inside the courthouse. The very place, meant to uphold the law, became a battleground, where personal vendettas and public outrage collided. In those moments, the courthouse failed to protect Rajab Butt. Instead, it became a scene of lawlessness, raising troubling questions about justice, free speech, and the power of public opinion in Pakistan. The attack on Rajab Butt was captured from multiple angles on mobile phones, as bystanders and witnesses instinctively reached for their devices to record the unfolding chaos. These raw, unfiltered videos would soon circulate widely, offering a chilling first-hand look at the violence as it erupted. The footage quickly made its way to news outlets, exposing the violence in real time and shocking viewers across the country. The immediacy of the coverage left little room for denial or downplaying the severity of the incident. In the crowded courthouse corridor, Butt found himself encircled by a group of lawyers. What began as a tense confrontation escalated rapidly as the crowd's hostility turned physical, and the air was thick with shouts and accusations, the tension palpable. Within moments, Butt's shirt was ripped open as he was shoved, pulled, and dragged by the mob. Over a dozen lawyers, many in their black coats, overwhelmed him with force, their aggression unchecked and their anger boiling over. Shockingly, no security personnel intervened. The very people sworn to uphold the law and maintain order had become a frenzied mob, abandoning their professional duties and ethical responsibilities. The violence did not stop in the corridor. Even inside a judge's office, a place meant to symbolize justice and authority, the aggression continued. People argued, shouted, and pushed, showing a shocking disregard for judicial authority and the sanctity of the legal process. Outside, Butt's lawyer spoke to the media, visibly shaken. He described the ordeal as life-threatening, emphasizing that this was not a mere scuffle or heated argument, but a targeted and dangerous assault. Butt sustained visible injuries, cuts, bruises, and torn clothing. The violence was personal and direct, leaving both physical and psychological scars. The anger of the lawyers was focused entirely on Butt. This was not a debate or a disagreement, it was a deliberate act of punishment carried out in full view of others. The attack was coordinated and brutal, violating every principle of courtroom conduct and professional ethics. The chaos inside the courthouse was unprecedented. The footage revealed a complete breakdown of order and safety. The courthouse, once a symbol of justice, was now a scene of lawlessness and fear. For many present, the courthouse, a place meant to be a sanctuary for truth and justice, became a place of fear and uncertainty. Witnesses and bystanders looked on in disbelief, some fearing for their own safety. In those moments, the law was nowhere to be found. The empty scales of justice and deserted courthouse entrance stood as stark reminders of a system in crisis, where order had given way to chaos, and justice was left abandoned. After the attack, police registered a First Information Report, or FIR, based on a complaint from Butt's lawyer. 2 advocates were named, along with 15 to 20 unidentified lawyers, accused of rioting, intimidation, and assault. The FIR turned the incident from professional misconduct into a criminal case. Yet, as of January 2, 2026, no arrests have been made. Despite clear video evidence and named suspects, the investigation drags on. The lack of action has fueled public frustration and suspicion of preferential treatment for lawyers. For Butt and his legal team, the delay is deeply concerning. It sends a message that even public recorded violence may not bring swift accountability. The public now watches to see if justice will be served. The attack on Rajab Butt included more than violence. There was also an allegation of theft. Amid the chaos, Butt's bag, containing about 300,000 rupees, was stolen. The bag was later recovered, but the cash was missing, suggesting deliberate theft. This adds a new criminal dimension to the case, complicating the narrative. The theft is now part of the police complaint, making the accused liable for robbery as well as assault. Proving who took the money will be difficult, but the claim deepens the severity of the incident. Butt was left physically harmed and financially exploited in a place meant for protection. The courthouse became a scene of both violence and opportunism. In the aftermath, both sides tried to shape the narrative. One accused lawyer, Riaz Ali Solangi, justified the attack as a response to Butt's derogatory comments about lawyers, claiming the apology wasn't enough. Butt's lawyer, Mian Ali Ashfaq, condemned the violence, calling it a betrayal of legal ethics. The incident drew attention from social media figures like Nadeem Mubarak, turning it into a public spectacle. Lawyers chanted in support of the Karachi Bar Association, showing collective defiance. The violence was framed by some as defending professional honor, by others as a disgrace. The event exposed deep divisions within the legal community. The controversy quickly spread beyond the courtroom, resonating across social media. The assault on Rajab Butt is more than a crime. It's an attack on the very foundation of justice itself. It shakes the core principles that our legal system is built upon, sending shockwaves not just through the legal community, but through society as a whole. When violence enters the halls of justice, it threatens the sanctity of the courts and the safety of those who seek fairness within them. When lawyers, who are meant to be the guardians of the law, turn to violence, they do more than just break the law. They undermine the rule of law itself. Such actions erode public trust in the courts, making people question whether justice can truly be served when those sworn to uphold it become its violators. This incident has triggered an ethical crisis for the legal profession, forcing lawyers and judges alike to confront uncomfortable questions about their responsibilities and the standards they must uphold. The scandal has become a national conversation, with headlines questioning the very integrity of the legal system. Lawyers are bound by strict codes of conduct, principles that demand honesty, respect, and a commitment to justice above all else. Mob attacks and acts of violence are a direct violation of these core duties, causing irreparable harm to the profession's credibility and the public's faith in the legal process. If lawyers themselves don't respect the authority of the court, how can ordinary citizens be expected to trust the system? The ripple effects of such incidents reach far beyond the courtroom, sowing seeds of doubt and fear in the minds of the public. The attack sends a chilling message. Even within the supposed safety of the court, security is not guaranteed. It raises urgent questions about the protection of all who participate in the justice system: judges, lawyers, defendants, and the public alike. The legal community now faces a moment of reckoning. Will they stand together to uphold their oath to justice, or will they close ranks and protect their own, ignoring the deeper issues at play? The choices made now will shape the future of the profession. The response from bar associations and legal leaders will determine whether this is remembered as an isolated tragedy or as a symptom of a deeper, systemic decay. Their actions, or inaction, will set a precedent for how such crises are handled in the future. Ultimately, the integrity of the justice system is at stake. The world is watching to see if the legal profession can rise above this crisis and restore faith in the rule of law. The assault on Rajab Butt has put Pakistan's legal system under intense scrutiny. Public trust in the courts has been shaken. The world is watching for accountability. The immediate demand: arrest those responsible and show that lawyers are not above the law. Bar associations face pressure to investigate and discipline their members. The case has sparked debate about freedom of speech and the power of professional groups. The violent response to criticism is seen as illegal censorship by force. The outcome will set a precedent for how society handles dissent and mob justice. This is no longer just about one YouTuber. It's a test of the justice system itself. The answers will shape the future of legal integrity in Pakistan. Justice must not only be done, but be seen to be done.